What if your gut was more than your second brain? What if it was your spiritual compass? What if healing your gut is more than just probiotics and healthy food? What if it's aligning your body, your purpose, and your emotions? Healing isn't just fixing a part of your body. It's coming home to your whole self. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Gut Feeling podcast, where we digest modern medicine with old world wisdom. And today I'm so excited to talk about something I'm so passionate about. This is Dr. Alexandra Shustina, and I'm your host for this weekly podcast. Today we will talk about the gut, the soul, and the science, bridging biology, medicine, and spirituality. They're not all separate things. They're actually one. And this has been something that's been known by ancient traditions for so long, and now we're just catching up. We've all heard that the gut is called the second brain. And ancient cultures used to call it the seat of our intuition. There's a reason for that. Because the connections between the brain and the gut and the brain are profound. All our thoughts change our microbiome. Do you know your relationships change your microbiome? When you're in a happy place, when you are in a good emotional state, when you're balanced, when you are calm, and when your relationships are fulfilling, your microbiome is stronger. And having stronger relationships actually is a positive predictor for health, whereas loneliness is a strong negative predictor for health. So we're not just physical bodies. We are spiritual entities. We are energetic beings, and it's vital and important that we put all those things together. So we talk a lot about the microbiome and how those great, amazing bugs, the trillions of bugs that live inside and outside of our body, actually create neurotransmitters. They communicate with the brain and they tell the brain what's going on, but they don't do it in a one-way connection. The brain is talking to the gut all the time. And you've heard gut feeling, good gut feeling, the name of this podcast. Butterflies in my stomach, how strongly the brain and the gut are connected. But the truth is, the gut is just the conduit for the rest of the body. It doesn't stop there. It's the brain and the gut and the body. But the brain is not just the physical brain and the physical connections and the electric connections and the chemical connections. It is much, much more than that. It's also our subconscious mind, which connects us to our spirit. And if we disregard that aspect, it's very hard to really heal at the root source. You may be thinking, why is a gastroenterologist talking about this? And truthfully, if you told me 10 years ago that I would be discussing this, I would be shocked, because I always wanted to be a doctor since I was 3 years old, and I went down the science track and I did all my pre-med courses, and before I did all my biology courses, and I loved math and I loved science, and I did all my biology courses. I did all my pre-med courses. I even went to grad school for molecular biology, for genetic engineering, got a master's degree in that research. And then I went to med school. I went to internship, residency, and fellowship. I did 17 years of school after high school. I always wanted to be on the science track until I had my own health issue. And that is really when a lot of doctors wake up. This is when I woke up. So I did my residency in a hospital that closed 2 months before I graduated. Now, I always had allergies ever since I can remember. Mild allergies, really bad allergies to cats, pretty moderate to severe allergies to dogs, pollen, seasonal. So I didn't always know what, but it wasn't anything that was debilitating. I would have itchy eyes. I would have a runny nose. I would have hives here and there, but it was really something that was very manageable. And I took antihistamines. And then my hospital where I did my training suddenly closed 2 months before I graduated. And that was an excruciatingly stressful time. Can you imagine everything I put into my medical education, all the time and effort and money, and all of a sudden, 2 months before I can sit for my boards to become board certified, to finish the first stage of my training, and really where I thought I was going to continue my specialty training, that was all gone. And it happened very fast. And it was a highly stressful time. But at the time, I didn't really put two and two together, because all of a sudden my allergies became crazy and I couldn't function, and I was maxing out on medications. And also at the same time, and really my whole life, I didn't know how to cook, and I didn't know what even healthy food was. because I was always busy. I was always in school and I lived in Manhattan. So delis and deliveries and everything that was convenient was available for me, and I took advantage of it. So my favorite foods were grilled cheese sandwiches. I don't know if you guys can relate, but to this day, if I could eat anything, it would be a grilled cheese sandwich. All of a sudden, I'm feeling horrible, and I perceived it as something bad. I judged it as something bad. It seemed like something bad. Probably if someone told you, hey, all of a sudden I feel miserable. I really am having trouble working. The medications aren't working. We would all think that is bad. And I want us to rethink this concept. I want us to rethink about what we attribute to as bad. Because when I finish my story, you're going to understand that this problem, or what I called a problem, or what I called an illness, was the best thing that's ever happened to me. At the same time, my mom calls me and says she found this amazing healer. He was not a doctor. He was not a medical person, but he helped her. And she thought, hey, why not give it a try? And I thought, hey, why not give it a try? I tried everything else. I'm feeling miserable. So we went to this healer and he told me the reason I'm feeling so sick is because I have a lot of stress in my life, because I have a lot of stress in my life from this current situation. But not only from that, and I'm eating the wrong foods. And he treated me, and he treated my emotional connection to the situation. And he told me how to change my diet. And I felt back to baseline in 3 appointments. And I was stunned. I was stunned. But not only that, as I continued to eat healthy and as I continued to work in my stress, not only was I back to baseline, I had no more allergies. All the allergies that I had from when I was a small child were gone. And I have a dog who does not cause me allergies. I was blown away. And I ended up finding a residency, finding a new place to do my gastroenterology fellowship, which was ultimately also a miracle. And I came out of my training with a totally different approach to health. I knew what real health was because I had experienced it myself, and now I could help others. And when I look back at that, that was in 2010. This was one of the most important and amazing parts of my life that I would have never come to had I not had that illness. And I believe this applies to everyone. Our body, through our subconscious mind, through our connections to our spirit, through our connections to spirituality, send us messages that we need to change something. It's not bad and it's not good. It's just a message. And if we listen to the message, we can achieve something much greater than just having no symptoms. And I speak about this to my patients because some of my patients come to me and they have very debilitating symptoms, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, they're bleeding, they really feel miserable. And they tell me, like, please just make me feel better. And I ask them, what is your goal? And they say, well, I want to feel better. I want to have normal bowel movements. I want to have no pain. But when I probe further and ask them, well, are you happy? And are your relationships good? And do you have a purpose? And many times the answer is no. And then I say to them, well, would you feel good if you had no physical symptoms, but you still had that? And the answer is no. So when they finish this process, the healing process, they can heal not only the physical issues, but the emotional issues and their spiritual connection. And for me and for them, they would never have come to that had they not had those symptoms. So are the symptoms and the illness, is it bad or is it a message? And this is the key factor if we look at our health issues as a message. And you know what? You may be thinking, okay, but some things are really dangerous. And yes, they are. But most things don't start from a serious condition. They start with feeling down, with feeling anxious, with not sleeping well, with not relating to people. We often have these things and we don't check in with ourselves. We kind of just let it go. Okay, so I'm having a bad mood. Okay, so I'm having a bad week. Okay, so my sleep isn't great. Oh, so I'm a little bit constipated, or maybe I have a little gas. But all those little things are check-ins. They're really messages like, hey, do something about this. Find out why I'm having this. And when we listen to that message and don't judge it as bad, don't judge ourselves as bad, just judge it as a message. It's a text message from a friend. Hey, what are you doing? This is what true healing is all about. It's really about listening to your messages. So what can we do? what can we do to break this process? So the first thing when we feel something is off is check in. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. I had a bad day. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to go to sleep. Okay, I didn't sleep. Okay, now I'm tired. If you notice you're fatigued, you're having a bad mood, you're not relating to people the way you normally do, you're feeling down, check in early because that's when the alarm is still at a low volume. And that is easier. It's easier to intervene. So check in. Number 2 is don't judge it. Don't say it's bad. Don't say it's dangerous. Just check in. Just check in. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor and have a diagnostic exam. Those two are not mutually exclusive. You can do the physical things, and we must do the physical things. We must eat healthy, and we must still have a healthy lifestyle. And sometimes we have to go to the doctor, and sometimes we have to get diagnostic tests. And there's even a role for medications. But we still have to check in with ourselves because we can get the diagnostic test and find out what the problem is physically. But if we treat it only physically, and even if it's naturally that we treat it, we have not gotten to the root cause. And it can always come back because the message is still being sent because we have not heard it. So yes, sometimes we feel bad. And then we change our diet and we take some good supplements and all those are good things. And we sleep better and we can get better. But I have seen many people get better for 1 year, for 2 years, for 5 months, for 10 years, and then it comes back because they just quieted the message because they did other things that were good. They did other things that were healthy, other things that supported their body in a physical way. They made up for it for some time, but it always sat there. So it's very important that no matter what we do and no matter what the treatment is, whether it is a supplement, whether it is food, whether it is a medical procedure, whether it's a medication, that we always check in with the message and we don't judge it. We don't judge it as bad because I'm going to tell you from my perspective, my health issue that I had 15 years ago was one of the best things that's ever happened to me, that's happened to my practice, and that's happened to my patients. Did I know that then? No. And you may not know that now either. You may not know exactly how it's going to play out in your life. In fact, you probably don't. But if you let it play out, and if you don't judge it, and if you can accept the fact that you don't know yet, but when it is revealed, it will be the best thing that's ever happened to you, we can shorten the process and we can actually heal ourselves and get real messages. Because in times of stress and in times of anxiety, it's very, very hard to have clarity. What can we do from a practical perspective? Well, one is listen to the message. If something is different, if something feels off, stop yourself and be aware of the message. Number 2, don't judge the message. Number 3, how do we get clarity? Well, we get clarity from stillness, from peace, from calm. So we need to bring ourselves to that happy, calm, peaceful state. And this is where mindfulness techniques really play a huge role, where breath work is able to really calm us down, to connect our subconscious mind with our conscious mind. We're a meditation where we can positively visualize what we want to occur. We want to heal. We want to heal from the mind, body, and spirit. We want to heal by making ourselves whole from every perspective. Another amazing way to connect to the message. Sometimes it's really just doing nothing. And I know myself, I'm a fixer, I'm a problem solver, and I like to get things done. And maybe you are that too. If you are that, sometimes it's stepping back and being okay with not having the answer yet. Being okay that there is a question and I don't yet have the answer. It's going to come. But the more patient I am and the more I'm able to let go of the problem, the more the answer is going to come to me. And then you will already have some clarity. And maybe you will be able to find someone who can guide you. And there's so many amazing techniques out there to connect to that. Energy medicine, manipulative therapy, the mind, body, and spirit, everything that connects our meridians, our energy channels to our physicality and to our emotions. And those are real ways to heal. But those are just techniques and those are just tools. Because if we truly believe that we can be healed and that this is a message, it's inevitable. And whatever way we choose, we can get a good result by being connected to the true purpose of why we even have it in the first place. So what is the goal? The ultimate goal is wholeness, is to be whole from every perspective, not just my body working well, but my purpose to be aligned with my body and my emotions to be aligned with my purpose and my soul and my spirit to all be aligned. And ultimately, that is what brings healing. Your physical health is not separate from your emotional health and from your spiritual health. And yes, there are amazing tools to support the body, such as herbs, such as supplements, such as nutrition. But spirituality makes it whole and puts it all together in order for us to heal as an entity, as a spiritual, as an emotional, and as a physical entity. One thing that I have seen as a big player in disease is old traumas. And many people are not even aware that they've had these traumas because many times we've had them as children. Many times we've had them at an age that we're not able to process them in an intellectual way. Many times we're not able to recall them. And many times we can recall them, but we don't really understand how vital they are. Many times we underestimate the impact they've had in our lives. And yes, we can heal those too. Because what happens is that we have external triggers. When we have an experience where we felt abandoned, isolated, alone, or whatever it is, we carry that with us. And now we resonate as someone who has been abandoned or someone who has been hurt. And we put that out there. And then we attract that back in. So then we get hurt again, and then we get hurt again. And you've seen this. People attract, once they have one bad relationship, they attract a second and a third. And often they attract the same types of relationships, the same type of dysfunctional relationship maybe they've had with their parent. And now they're having those kind of relationships as adults. Why is that? Because we're attracting that over and over again. But we can look at it in a deeper way. We're attracting it. It's causing us stress, and it may even cause illness. But it's a message that we need to heal that aspect of ourselves. And when we go deep into our subconscious mind and heal it, and it's possible, this is when true healing really occurs. Thank you for listening. Stay healthy, stay gutsy. You can find more of this at wholegut.com. I look forward to seeing you all next week.